Studio 117 Creative is a WordPress website agency. We have a couple clients that just use us for tech support, like when they need help, when something's not working. One of my concerns is like being able to communicate with the customer when I need feedback on their website. First of all, I'm a systems junkie. I like to have my things in order, and I'm always thinking about client experience. When I came across Atarim, it just made sense because that was one of my concerns is like being able to communicate with the customer when I need feedback on their website and doing it in an organized manner without having to take a whole bunch of screenshots and all of that. I can totally see the impact that it has on my workflow.
Hi, Takenya. So for those out there who don't already know about you and Studio 117 Creative, please tell us a little bit more about what it is that you do.
Studio 117 Creative is a WordPress website agency. We do design work for small businesses, nonprofits, bloggers. One of the biggest services that we offer is our maintenance, where we help with running and keeping up the back end of your website. I know a lot of people find that the tech part of their business ends up being the challenging part. And so our whole goal is just like to take that off of the table for entrepreneurs, small businesses, and let them shine doing what it is that they do. And we just make them look good doing it online. That's the gist of what we primarily do. But then also we have a couple clients that just use us for tech support, like when they need help, when something's not working, things like that. And so that's how Atarim kind of plays into our workflow.
What first led you to Atarim? Were there specific pain points that you were facing at the time in terms of things that you were looking to solve in the agency, you as a bottleneck with collecting feedback from clients, or anything that you can point to?
I think I've been using Atarim it's been at least 2 years. And I want to say that I started using it right as I really set up the business. So the work that I do, I've always done on the side and not in an official capacity. And then I set the business up formally at the end of 2021, beginning of 2022. And it was I don't remember exactly how I found out about Atarim. It might have been a Facebook ad or something like that, but it was like right on time because first of all, I'm a systems junkie. Like I like to have my things in order and I'm always thinking about client experience. When I came across Atarim, it just made sense because that was one of my concerns is like being able to communicate with the customer when I need feedback on their website and doing it in an organized manner without having to take a whole bunch of screenshots and all of that. I started using it just for client feedback, like in the design process. And then I dove into using it like with my hosting clients for them to be able to put in like trouble tickets and let me know things that they need help with. And here recently, we just revamped our maintenance plan so that if they want, there are tiers where they can have support hours. And so the Atarim plugin actually is great for that as well, because they don't have to try and figure out how to screenshot the stuff for me. They don't have to figure out how to explain where it's at or drop links. Like it just gives me everything that I need. Just being able to do stuff in an organized manner and have it like all be in one place. Sometimes I may have a client who'll be like, hey, I'll record you a quick Loom, or hey, I sent you this screenshot. And I'm like, hey, can you go in your website and completely show me where it's at? And they forget sometimes that they have that ability, because it keeps it orderly for me on my end and also for them. They're not having to go search their inbox and find where the feedback was at or what I said and whatever else. So it streamlines things. And like I said, I'm really big on systems and automation and just having systems in place for the client experience. I think the commonality among our clients is they're either scared of tech and breaking things, or they just are overwhelmed by all that WordPress can have. Atarim just makes that easier. It's not another system that they have to learn because it's already built in. And I typically, if needed, I record videos and show them like, hey, this is exactly how you use it. But one of the things that I love too is that Atarim has the ability to white label. So being able to apply my branding to it. So it just feels more cohesive to them. They're not like, oh crap, what is this? Because they see the Studio 117 logo right there when they get logged in and stuff like that. So it's typically just people who are either overwhelmed by tech or a little intimidated by tech. And so this, I feel like, helps make them a little bit more comfortable too when you have good systems in place.
If we go to more of the impact overall in terms of, I don't know how exactly specific you are about measuring. Some are a little bit more specific about measuring like average task completion time and things like this. And I know you said you were using Atarim quite early on already, so it might be a bit more difficult to compare before and after. But if you were to try to compare the impact that using Atarim has had and what it's enabled you to achieve time-wise, productivity-wise, How would you describe it?
I feel like for that piece, because I did start using it so early on, I don't really have a before and after measurement, like you said, but I can totally see the impact that it has on my workflow because I know I can easily track what stage I'm in with a client. I know once I've given them access to Atarim, I give them a certain amount of time for them to go in and do their revisions. And I just wait until they're complete so I can move on to another project or focusing on something else, knowing that they are there, they have what they need, and they can get it done versus having to go back and check a folder to see if they've uploaded something or check my inbox and search to see if they've responded to messages. And so, in that vein, it keeps everything organized and it increases my productivity because I'm not like doing the
Chasing up.
whack-a-mole,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
trying to wrangle everything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Awesome.
And then I will say, just going back to being an early adopter of using it, one thing that I will say has been beneficial is how supportive like the Atarim team is. They send out emails occasionally saying, hey, if you want to jump on a call and talk about how you're using it or you have specific questions. And I'm a feedback person. If I see a way to improve something, I'll share it. They've always been very receptive to that. I have also utilized getting on those calls that they have weekly with the team to say, hey, this is how I'm using it now, or I just started doing this and I noticed that this happened. And they're able to troubleshoot it with me right then and there. So that has actually been one of the main things that makes me consistently use it because I feel supported in using it too. Like I don't have to spend a whole lot of time figuring it out on my own. So I'll troubleshoot something. If I get to the point that I'm like, I don't have time for this, I can book a call and I know that, they'll help me resolve my issue. I love a tool that is thinking about its users and not only how like you can service me as a user, but what kind of things you can partner with that also makes it better and easy for me because that keeps me with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And essentially, the
So
goal
yeah.
is to help you succeed. And if there's other tools that help you be more productive, but sometimes it's save more money as opposed to using some more expensive tool, whatever it may be,
Mm.
that is ultimately a win for us. I think that's how we see ourselves for the designer, for the WordPress business owner. That's how Atarim ultimately wants to help people is like through our platform, but then also through helping them adopt the ecosystem of tools that is the perfect fit for their business.
That just makes sense. Yeah, it just makes sense. So, and like I said, I love having been exposed to the tool and it's been really cool just watching it grow. As a person who like loves systems and tech and stuff like that, it's just exciting to see the growth, but it's also inspiring too as a business owner.
We'd love to have you on board as well. Thank you again. And I hope that we get
Yes, thank
to catch up
you.
again soon and I'll see you around in the community and elsewhere.